Good morning, everybody. I have 11, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Janetta Ross. I'm from Simplesoft Solutions, and we are an Infor CRM partner for Infor. We are working with BizTech to show Infor CRM and the integration with Visual to BizTech's Visual customers. So we welcome everybody this morning. Please let me know via the chat if you cannot hear me, or if there are any issues at all. You can use the chat, or you can use *6 to take your phone off mute and speak to me at any time. I appreciate everybody's time today, and we're going to try to be respectful of that time. Again, we're hosting this with BizTech and with Infor, so we'll be having someone join us from Infor to actually do the demo today. So again, let me know if there's anything I can do to make this better via the chat, or any questions that you have, either way, chat or through the phone line. So we're going to get started. Our agenda today is we're going to take a look at the financial impact of a connected solution with Infor CRM and Infor ERP, specifically Visual. We're going to look at sales and customer service benefits of a connected solution with Infor CRM and Infor ERP. The 5 key value points that CRM should provide to an organization, and we're going to see a live demonstration of Infor CRM version 8.3, web, mobile, and using it inside of Outlook. Simplesoft, I just wanted to let you know a little bit, since you don't know us, and we've been working with BizTech for a while now. We partnered together, and just let you know a little bit about us. We work exclusively with CRM. We want to be thought leaders in the area of sales, marketing, and customer service processes. You know, if you think about CRM, it's the front office of an organization, and ERP is the back office, and we want to be the experts at the front office pieces. We work on a balanced scorecard approach to Infor CRM, meaning that we think that to be successful with CRM, you need it to wrap around your business strategy, to involve your people, to have the right technology platform, and then to define your processes. So we work with you to do those kind of things. In terms of the value of integrated ERP and CRM, a very long time ago, a lot of you probably know about the Greek philosopher Aristotle. He said that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So CRM and ERP separately have a certain value to the organization and a strong value, but when brought together, they have a stronger value to the organization. And when we think about why customers switch, and even in our own lives as consumers, you know, it can be customer service experiences. It can be that we don't feel like they know us, or that they're just looking for something better out there. So what do we need to do to keep them and keep them coming back? And we need to become customer-centric. We need to think about the customer first and how we can provide the best service to them. When you look at the reasons why people leave and how strongly that affects their buying performance. A lot of us have heard this before, but people will share bad experiences to 5 other people, and where they'll only share good experiences 33% of the time. And it obviously costs a lot more to attract new customers than it does to attract or to keep and retain the current customers that you have. So this is from a document that was produced by Aberdeen Group, and it is called Customer-Centric ERP Integrated Systems. And they did a survey and provided a lot of metrics inside of this document, and I can provide that as follow-up to this webinar. But businesses that are integrating disparate systems enjoy an 88% greater year-over-year increase in annual revenues, and the actual percentages are 14.8% versus 7.8% year-over-year growth. Companies will have shorter sales cycles, and their deals will be more relevant with higher values associated to them. So, you know, really that we want to reduce customer care cost, and that can be done by focusing on customer service. This is some of the issues that companies have that integrated CRM and ERP answer. A business owner needs a quick way to see how they're performing at any given time. Sales executives are always asking us for forecasting information and ways to create it without taking a lot of time. The back office wants to make sure that the front office sees the same thing when they're looking for payments and looking to work together to collaborate with customers. Marketing needs to be able to understand their leads and how much it's costing them to bring in leads. Customer service wants up-to-date communications. What is sales communicating to actual customers? And then sales managers, again, want to know about the pipeline, and they want to see how they can get it quickly. So these are some of the things we're trying to answer. And the way to answer that and the way to provide that is with a 360-degree customer view, bringing together real-time data, customer purchases, and analytics with a whole customer profile. So we want to be able to provide that within Infor CRM and Visual. Just a quick look at the 5 key value points that we've put together for you to kind of remind you of what can happen when you bring this synergy. Enable collaboration to improve customer service. We've talked a lot about that. Eliminate, reduce, simplify, automate, increase revenue, and provide strategic insight. CRM really should enable collaboration within the organization. Who did the customer speak to last? What issues have they reported? What commitments did sales make? What orders have shipped? Invoices are overdue. When people work together and they can see the same data in one place, it is extremely valuable to the organization, and it shows to the customer on the outside. So CRM should eliminate, reduce, and simplify. It should eliminate duplicate data entry, and I think you'll see that today through this integration. Reduce the number of people handling the same data and the time to find that information, and just eliminate silos of data to begin with. It should automate new customer creation. When a prospect is turned to a customer, it shouldn't have to be created in both places. So we'll show you some of those things today. Quotations, sales orders, workflow, marketing, processes that are repeatable should be automated. CRM should help you generate and grow. It should increase revenue. It should decrease time from the first contact to a sale and increase closure rate. We want to focus on key performance indicators. What are the key performance indicators that you measure within your sales organization, and how do we make CRM relevant to that? How do we make CRM drive the activity that allows them to meet their key performance indicators? And this is an example. I just want to show an example of how CRM has done that for one of our customers that we have. So this is an advanced analytics dashboard inside of Infor CRM, and this particular customer, their salespeople are focused on really it's wallet share. They have a product that uses 4 different consumable items on the product, and so they want to make sure that every customer that owns their equipment also has all 4 consumable items on it, and so they have a focus on 4-star accounts by month. And so this is a visual look at how that's growing month after month, and so they keep that in front of everybody. So this is about reinforcing the behavior that you want. We want to be outside in. We want to focus on customers' needs, be connected and transparent, and integrated with 360 view. So that is kind of an introduction of why it's important to consider what we have to offer today. And I'm going to turn it over to Ed Heinches. He is a sales engineer that's been with Infor CRM for a very long time, and he is going to do our demonstration today. Are you ready for me to pass the baton to you, Ed?
I am.
Okay. All right, I'm going to make Ed the presenter.
Okay, can we see my screen?
Yes, you're good to go.
Excellent. Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Ed Heinches. I am a solution consultant for Infor, so I indeed have been doing technology and in CRM for a very long time. So I spend a lot of my time in front of customers and with the partners and doing implementations and training. I do an awful lot of things in the world, right? Just a quick overview one or two slides that I want to run to, and then we'll actually really jump into a demonstration. So Infor has been around for a long time. We're pretty big. We got a lot of customers. We win a lot of awards, right? So we get a lot of accolades for the things that we do, and a lot of them revolve around the CRM, right? And the CRM is part of that common destiny story and solution that we are introducing and bringing to the table. All of our products have a common integration layer, have a common integration piece to do the communication, the delivery of information, and really giving you the ability to secure that data across all of the different platforms that you might be working with, even non-Infor-based solutions. So CRM is just part of that puzzle, and we want to continue down that path to make sure the common destination just grows stronger and stronger, and the integration and the amount of data that can be delivered across the platform just grows and grows. So we've been going through a couple of different iterations for ERP and Visual in particular for integration. We just actually made the official announcement today that the second phase of visual integration has been released. That is bi-directional, so data being pushed and pulled from the visual ERP environment. And from the CRM side of the house, and it's really what I'm going to focus on today, is more on the CRM side of the house and how the data looks inside of the CRM. But we want to make it easy to use. There are many different components to what the CRM delivers, right? Sales, service, and marketing, things that give you that 360-degree view of what's going on in your world, again, with your customers, with your partners, with your products. So the ability to look at that from multiple places is becoming more and more important. And of course, the integration and the introduction of ERP data just grows the view and the ability to create dashboards and analytics that give you great KPIs and information based on the things that you need to know right now from the CRM without having to dive into the ERP, which is generally the holy grail of data in most corporations, right? So if we can keep people at arm's length away from diving into the ERP application, we're probably a little bit safer, we're probably in a little bit more control of how, what, where, why things are done inside of the ERP. And of course, the ability to deliver this thing from a mobile perspective and getting into your inbox to be able to deliver information across those platforms. So we wanted to make it pretty. We wanted to make sure that the integration that we have with Outlook and other email packages, we tend to focus a little bit on Outlook because that seems to be the most that people use. They use Outlook integration. But we do this with other email packages as well. The mobile client that we'll see here in a few minutes, no install. We are very agnostic when it comes to the platforms that we support, so Android, iPhone, Windows, BlackBerry, pick your poison. With no install, it's quick and easy to get and use that platform right away. And when you're running in the cloud for us, you are single tenant, right? That means it's your server, it's your database, so you're not sharing it with anybody else. Allows for ease of customization, ease of movement. If you wanted to pull that and make that an on-premise solution, you most certainly can. So we have a number of customers who are delivering solutions that are part on cloud, part on-premise, right? So you have functionality and flexibility in your delivery models. So for us, it's really about how do we get to that data, right? Where does that data live? So there's three access points for us, whether we're talking about the mobile platform, right? So again, I mentioned it's agnostic. I will be doing my demonstration on an Android today, but iPhone, Android, Windows, even BlackBerry, we support those platforms. If you're looking at our web client, which we will see today as well, that too, very browser agnostic, right? So Windows IE, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, right? Pick your browser. We will run very comfortably inside of all of those browsers, and we do have a team that's their job. Their job is to make sure that browser compatibility is top-notch, and with all the new versions that come out on a regular basis, those guys are busy, right? And of course, the Outlook integration component, right? So the ability to get the information, deliver the information inside of Outlook is something that we do on a regular basis. So we want to make sure that we are delivering a very complete solution, whether it's marketing strategy, sales optimization, or service and support, which is something we probably won't touch on today. But we do have a full, robust service and support component to do tickets, a customer-facing portal so you get in and create your own tickets and service them yourself. or I shouldn't say service them, but at least update status and give more information. But the goal here is to make sure you have the tools and features and functionalities that you need to deliver on that integrated solution, that one vision across all of our platforms. So with that, let me put this guy away for the moment. Let's start in the Outlook world. All right, so I'm going to bring my Outlook client over here. All right, so this is actually my real Outlook inbox. So we can look at things from many different ways, although we're looking at demo data. Our goal here is really to give you access to your information and access to the CRM data where you work, right? I seem to spend way too much time inside of my Outlook inbox instead of doing things and working and spending enough time with all the customers that we have out here. But with the tools and with the integration with CRM, I can get through it rather quickly when necessary, right? So example, I have an email that has come in, right? And on the right-hand side here, we have what is called our Xbar. So from the Xbar side of the house, it's already gone out and looked into the CRM to pull out data about the email that's on here. So I can see that it was sent to me, from me to me, because it's a demo email, but it went and pulled out information from the CRM so I can see who they are, what company they're with. If I needed to go into a particular contact, I could actually click on that contact, and it would go out to the CRM and pull up data from the CRM, right? So I can actually begin to dig in and find out why are you important to me. So in this case, I can see add telephone numbers. If I needed to update that information, I most certainly could by clicking on the pencil here. I can see any activities that have gone on. I can see that there actually is an open ticket. So if I wanted to drill into that ticket, I could click on the ticket as well and start to see details about that particular ticket. I could even go through and add more disposition to it. If I needed to, I could close the ticket right here from inside of my Xbar. So looking at and touching and working with all of my CRM data from Xbar is very simple and very easy. If I needed to go find more information about the company, I could drill into the company as well. Clicking on that company, it's going to go do a read inside of or to this CRM and pull out all of the detailed information about that particular company. Right, so I can actually see the opportunities that are available to me. They have a bunch of open tickets as well. But one of the things that I like a lot is I can quickly and easy click in and find out who are all the contacts for this particular company. Right, so if I need to include somebody, and I'm not sure if they're in the CRM, I can most certainly add them to the CRM, as well as looking at all the attachments that go along with those types of things. Now, the goals that we have, a lot of the goals that we have, is giving you information without having to click too deep or continue driving down to find information. So we do things with dashboards, right? So I can actually, without even going into the account, look at activities, if there's any history, and I do have KPIs that I can work with that give me a quick snapshot of what's happening. So in this particular instance, I have a potential of 285K. There's one open opportunity. There's one ticket. So you can configure these guys to show different types of data to fit your organization or your industry, or really just make the modifications to it to show the type of KPI data that you want to show at a particular time, right? So simple things like what happens if I actually wasn't in the database, right? Well, let's put this guy away for a second, not that it matters, right? But if I wasn't in the database, I could do something simple like rope myself up and drag and drop. And it's going to right away say, what do you need to do? So if I clicked on and said, I want to create a new contact, maybe it'll let me do that today, right? It will automatically pull in the information based on my signature file. So if you do have a very robust signature file, it is going to go pull up and put in an awful lot of information in there for you. Now, since I'm already in the database, it found that I'm already there, right? So it looked up the company for me, but you can go put your own company names in there. You can actually add new companies if the case may be. So I'm going to say cancel because I don't need to have another me inside the system, but you get the idea. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but when I clicked on or dropped that in there, I add functions and activities that I can do within the system. So I can do things like schedule meetings and schedule to-dos and schedule out a phone call if I needed to fortify my calendar. So if I have a meeting regarding a follow-up activity, right, and the date is going to be, we don't want it to happen today since we're already busy today, but we want this to happen next week, And 8:30 is a little early, so let's make it at 10 o'clock. But you get the idea. And while I'm creating this meeting, I want to make sure that I remember everything that's going on because I'm setting this meeting up based on the email that came in. I can drag and drop those notes directly into the system. So I can attach it to an opportunity or a ticket, give it its own priority. But the bottom line is it quickly and easily adds things to my CRM calendar. Now, talking about adding things to a calendar, I have my calendar set up a certain way, and you have the functionality or flexibility to do the same thing. It automatically synchronizes with your Outlook calendar, and in my case, I also have it synchronizing to my Android calendar. That would be my Google calendar. Why? Because I'm an Android guy, right? And I tend to use that calendar the most. So for me, it doesn't matter whether I'm working inside of my Outlook or I'm working inside of the CRM calendar, or for me, working inside of my Android calendar. Everything and anything I do automatically makes itself available across all of those platforms. So I'd like to pause for a second and have questions, but since we're on a webinar, we'll make sure we have room at the end so you guys can ask questions. So I'm going to put away my Outlook for the moment, and I'm going to pull over my mobile client. All right, so we've got to make that a little bit bigger so you guys can actually see it. All right, so how much time do we have here? 20 minutes, so we got to get a move on. So I'm actually going to do this from my mobile phone. Oh, I just logged myself out, so I'm going to go ahead and log back in. There we go, right? And from my mobile phone, this is actually my a Samsung Galaxy S6, right? So if I do things like turn my phone sideways, it'll actually do those types of things for me. If I get a phone call, I'll ignore it, but it is my real phone, so we'll work through it and do the things that I need to do, right? So here I can see my schedule. If I pull this down, it says 5 minutes ago, but we've been going for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that, right? So automatically getting full data in here. I have quick action items that I can go do here. So I'm going to say I'm going to complete this, and I am driving with my thumb. I should drive with my finger so you guys can actually see it. I'll unplug here for a second. And I can get to all the information that's available inside of my system. So if I hit the menuing system, I have a full calendar or full menu of the items that are available to me. So if I wanted to drill into my accounts, I most certainly could drill into my accounts, and I can see that I'm already looking at a particular group, and that is a segmentation. I'll show you how that works from the web client in a minute. But if I wanted to see all of my clients, I could. I can click on over here and go say, look at all of my clients, and now I'm looking at everybody that's in my database, right? But you get the idea from your mobile platform. Maybe you don't want to see everybody, so you do. You create these groups. It segments out your data, gives you the ability to do things in little chunks, or maybe it's your call list for the day, or you're working through a particular campaign that you want to work with. Here as well, when I'm looking at accounts, everybody has their own quick action item that if I needed to, I can drill into that particular account and look at details. So I'll drive with my thumb here for just a second. I'll click on, I guess I can click on dashboards. So we give you a nice set of KPIs that are visible. So imagine, if you will, you're getting ready to walk into an account. I need to know, do they have any invoices? Do they have any outstanding invoices, or what's the quoted order, or anything else that you want to put in from your KPI section. This is data and detail that you can use and deliver right here from your phone to give you an awful lot of information. So if I jump back to my details, right, I can see quick action items up here. If I wanted to schedule an activity or add notes, I most certainly can. And of course, access to all the data that is inside of the system. So there is ERP data in here, right? So I can see quotes, sales orders. If I wanted to see all the sales orders that I put in for this particular customer, I most certainly can, and I can drill into these guys as well, so I can get down to the line items and get all the detailed information. So this is all information coming out of ERP, right? So this is coming from Visual, right? So I can see order lines and see what was actually ordered from this particular customer, and using my breadcrumbs, I can get back to where I needed to get, right, all the way back to the top. How about if I actually needed to make a phone call, right? There's a telephone number on the screen. If I click on that telephone number, it'll actually pull up my dialer and automatically dial the telephone number. We don't want to do that right now, but you get the idea here. As the number comes up, it'll automatically dial. You do your phone call, and when you're done, I can immediately start to type in notes to finish the call. But since I'm in here in lovely Southern California, one of the things we're not allowed to do is text and drive, so I could do something like talk my notes directly into the system. And when I'm done with that, I can simply say save, and I've now added a new note and history item into the system, right? So I have access to, of course, all of my accounts, contacts, leads, opportunity, all of the invoice information. You have the ability to control the configuration. So if I wanted to change what shows up first, by default, my schedule is how I have it set up. So it shows my schedule, but if I wanted to have my accounts be the first thing that shows up, I simply drag it up there and actually add my notes, put it up there at the top, and it would be the first thing that showed up when I logged in. But a lot of flexibility in how you configure things, the way that you look at stuff, and we are making this platform more robust each and every release. But the idea, again, is to give you access to the information you need it, where you need it, all the time. Now, the one thing, and I wasn't paying attention when I clicked into Abbott here, if I have it turned on, and I don't, one of the things that we have is the ability to work offline, right? So and when I have it turned on, you get this thing called a briefcase up top here. So if I wanted to take Abbott worldwide and I knew that I was going to be in a mine 300 feet below the ground, and I wasn't going to have any network connectivity or mobile access, I could drop that account onto my phone and have it saved. So if I needed to get into it and I needed information out of it, it would be saved right here on my phone, and you're in control of how much and how many records and how long they stay. This particular version for us is read-only, so you could drop it into your account and it would be used in a read-only mode, but future releases we're going to give you the ability to go into offline mode and update those customers as well. So that's a 50,000-foot view of the mobile platform, and I'm going to put this guy away for the moment as well, and then we're going to get into the actual meat and potatoes, which is the actual CRM itself. Right, so I'm going to drag over my CRM here, make that a little bit bigger. Actually, we'll zoom this guy in too a little bit, give you guys a little better view. There we go. So this is the web client. I happen to be using a Chrome browser. That's my browser of choice today. But again, you can use IE, you can use Firefox, Safari, pick any browser that you like, but again, the goal here is to give you the access you need, the way that you need to use it across all of your platforms. So we give lots of information, and again, our goal is to give you information in as few clicks as possible. So talking about and looking at dashboards, these are dashboards that you can build. So for me, I'm looking at a regional sales manager dashboard. So I want to see what my quote status might look like, where are my deals inside of my funnel. I can see activity trends, everybody that's in my pipeline, but you get the idea. I can see all the activities that have been done here, but this is to give me a quick snapshot of everything that happens to be going on in my world. So if I wanted to look at it from a management perspective, I might change that and go and see all the open opportunities, and I can see where my sales guys are from a forecasting perspective, and this is data that would be coming from the CRM and potentially from your ERP as well to give you that full detailed information, right? I can see opportunities, I can see where we are in the quarter, right? The idea of a good CRM not only is it to give you that 360-degree view of your accounts, contacts, leads, and opportunities, but it is to start giving you detailed information about what is happening and where I sit quota-wise and where my opportunities are and how I'm doing things. Right? I can see I have an example here of untouched leads. Well, me as a manager, I might get a little upset if I've got so many untouched leads over the last 7 days, and I might jump on my guys and say, hey, you guys need to pick up the phone and start doing a little dialing for dollars. How about on the other side of the coin, we wanted to see information regarding products, right? So if I'm pulling information out of the ERP, I can see all the sales numbers. I can see products so from 2015 versus 2016, right? So I can do comparative analysis. I can see how my sales guys are based on their sales and products as well. And I can just create visibility into what's going on with all of my products, all of my marketing segments, and of course all the customers. Adding detail is really as simple as saying, hey, I want to add some content, right? We've got bar charts and pie charts and graphs, and do things with websites. So we have a number of financial institutions that actually add the stock market tickers right inside of the CRM, so they can actually look at, see that going without having to leave the CRM environment, right? So all of this information really resides in, is because of the information inside of the CRM. So if I'm looking at a list here and I wanted to drill in, I could go in and look at the group that's creating that particular graphic, right? But in the CRM world, it's all about accounts, contacts, leads, and opportunities. And when we're connected to an ERP, right, we can pull over all their invoices and receivables and all the quotes and sales orders that are coming right out of the ERP. So, of course, you can do quotes and sales orders with the CRM without being connected to an ERP, but obviously being connected to your visual ERP makes the data a little bit more robust, a little bit more real as well, so you know when it's gone through, it's when it's been approved, when it's been shipped, so you can see all those regular information. So all the information really revolves around looking at and driving into the details of the CRM. So if I wanted to, I'm clicking in, and you'll notice it's quick and easy to learn. You're looking at data from one of a couple of different views. So right now I'm looking at it in a list view. Right, so from a list view, I can actually begin to do sorts and filters, right? Do things like, hey, for me, I'm in, again, a lovely state of California, so I'm only interested in the accounts that are in California. So I can see up here I've got a little over 1,000 records, right? But when I click into California as a filter, it drops me down and I have 118 records. These filters are things that are point and click. We give you a bunch out of the box, right? But you can obviously define what you guys need and what you want to have as your point and click filters. You can always go much deeper than that as well by doing simple things like looking up accounts. And for me, I can say we're account start with AB, and they've purchased a certain product and they're in California, and so I can start to build this very robust search criteria, and I get down to that particular group, right? So here's that AB group. You can see somebody actually created that group, and if I wanted to save it as a lookup group, I most certainly can, and then I can use that group over and over again, right? So instead of having to remember what that search criteria was and how I got to that data, right, I can be looking at all of my accounts. I can be looking at just my AB accounts, right? And you can pretty much make this as flexible as you need. You can give all kinds of different views into your data, right? So I can change the titles, I can change the headers and the amount of data that's shown in here. So I want to see invoiced amounts and won opportunities, right? So I can give from a list view a 360-degree view without having to click on anything. Or inside of my team or my lead group here, if I wanted to, I could drill into that Abbott Worldwide account and go from my list view to a detail view, right? Now I'm seeing all the meat and potatoes of what's in this account, who they are, where they are, who the accounts are. I can see someone was in here reorganizing the way that this looks. So for me, I generally have mine set up in a manner that says I want to see who my contacts are, and then I want to see what my activities are inside of the system. And then, of course, I like to keep my notes and history close at hand, right? So you get the idea as well that I can clean this up and organize it to look any way that I want. If I don't want something on here, I most certainly can remove it. I don't need to see my tickets or my shipments or whatever the case may be, right? So I can clean all this up and make my environment look the way that I need it to. So I can see I have all of my contacts in here, who's the primaries, who are the important people, anybody I need to call. If there's an email address on the system, I simply click on it. It's going to call up my Outlook. In my particular instance, it's going to call it my Outlook. If you're using Gmail, it will call it Gmail, right? So I can send an email right away. Activity-wise, if I needed to create activities, there's a number of places to go, right? I didn't really do the navigation portion, but the menuing side on the left-hand side, I have activities that I can do across the top, and of course, inside of all of the entities, I have functionality that I can deliver right here as well. So if I wanted to schedule a new meeting, I simply say schedule a new meeting, and again, much like the other one, if I say follow-up information, right, I can schedule it, put time frames on it, make who it's important to. I can actually add multiple participants to the meeting as well, and if they are part of your system, you can actually go see where they are and if they have availability inside of the calendaring event. But the idea here is obviously to give you access and information so you can properly schedule your meetings, set priorities, add your own notes inside of the system. And when you're done with that, it would automatically add it to your calendar so you can see and understand all of the all of the things that are going on with your customers, right? So notes and history, right? A good visualization into everything that's happening here. And we have an accordion style. If I wanted to expand out, I could see the notes in a quick read. You can filter these out to see just the phone calls or anything that's in the particular system, but the goal here again is how much information do you need to have? What do you want to see it in? Right? How about if I wanted to see everything in an account timeline? right? So from here, this gives me the full calendar or timeline view of everything that's gone on with a particular customer, color-coded so I can see when they're to-dos and meetings and phone calls, but you can really take a quick snapshot view and say, wow, what is going on in this account? I can see an awful lot of activity here in 2016 for Abbott Worldwide. Right? We have features and customizations that you can add to show hierarchy views. Right? If I wanted to see who's actually part of this account, who's related to who, so you have the ability to look at and relate accounts and contacts, and even your opportunities, they could be put in the hierarchy view. How about if I needed to create a nice, well-rounded snapshot view of a particular account? I can do things like search one. Let's do a quick search here. And we'll stay with Abbott, since they happen to be right there on top. All right, I can pull up information and get a good view of them from a particular time. So from yesterday to today, not a whole lot has gone on. Let's go ahead and move us over here to 2014 and say the 27th, and we'll do a refresh here. We should get a little bit of data. We'll say, I know we don't want to adjust those, but now numbers start to show up. I can see what they've done over year, and if they have open opportunities. So the ability to look at data and look at information from a 360-degree view, again, is something that we try to provide. So when we're talking about quotes and leads and opportunity, all of those things are similar in how they function, right? So if I wanted to look at leads, I most certainly can. I'm looking at all the leads. These leads could have come in from purchase list or any number of places, but they have features and functionality built into them as well to allow you to look at that particular lead and then work through a sales qualification process, right? So I don't have one defined here, but if I want to say this was a new technology lead, to me this is like the sales 101 stuff, right? Is it a valid contact? Well, how do I know that, right? Does their email work? If I call them, does somebody answer the phone? Is the address correct? And if it is, then we could say, yes, it's a valid contact. And you work your way through the sales 101, and you can create your own qualification processes until you get to the point where you say, this is a qualified lead and I want to turn it into an opportunity. And once it's in the opportunities phase, right, you get to start seeing and recognizing and building out information regarding those particular opportunities. So again, here I am looking at all my opportunities. If I wanted to look up opportunities, I most certainly could based on accounts. I can see I've got a couple in here, right? If we went and looked at a Boeing as a particular account, we most certainly can. I need to plug in my phone over here. It just beeped at me. It might go back to the mobile section here in a second, but it wouldn't be good if my phone died, right? So I can actually look at who the competitors are in there. If they have open sales orders, I could actually look at those sales orders as well in this particular product. Boeing might have products that are available to them, but I can see from a snapshot opportunity, we're looking at a $9 million deal expected to close later this month. Well, I actually should have closed already, right? So we can see that the numbers that go along in there. But the detail here all comes from input from your sales guys, right? Or information coming out of your ERP, and that can be a whole number of set of information, right? If I needed to get back to a particular account, I could navigate back quickly and easily to go find a particular account that I was working on before. And if I wanted to see Abbott's opportunities, I could see all of their opportunities. I can see I have a little bit different information based on this stuff. And here's an open opportunity. If I drilled into this guy, I'd see opportunity information, and there we go. Now I've got some products that I can look at. And again, these are things, if I wanted to add products, I could. If I had it fully connected to my ERP, I could actually pull product information directly from the ERP to show that information. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. From my More tabs here, right, I can actually, if I needed to, again, do the whole cleanup thing. If I wanted to see my opportunity summary, drag that up, and I use it all the time, I most certainly could have that available to me. But having access to my quotes and my sales orders, and of course all of my invoice items that would be coming out of ERP is key for us, and there's a lot of feature functionality that you get out of that. And with the time that we have left, I think we have about 15 minutes left, there's a number of things, a number of places that I can go, but we're going to take it at this point and say, let me turn it back over to you, Janetta, and open up, and let's see if there's any questions or comments or anything else anybody needs to see.
Yes, does anybody have any questions? You can use *6 to open up your phone and ask us, Ed or I, anything that you want to.
Hi, this is Betty Lewandowski, and I have a couple questions for both of you, actually. First of all, can we get a copy of the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So that will be sent out then after the meeting?
Yes, I can send the GoToMeeting recording that I did out to everybody as a follow-up.
Perfect. Okay, and then I have a couple questions for the gentleman that was just speaking.
Sure.
Okay, Ed? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm going to monopolize you for just a few minutes. What about itemizing? If we have two sides of business in the CRMs, can we itemize between the web business versus the corrugate business?
So are you talking about from an accounts perspective? You most certainly can, right? So if you go into an account, there's an awful lot of places where you can put information that would segment them out, right? So they might be a particular type of a customer, right? Or they might be selling into a particular industry, right? And these are all configurable. You can change these guys. You can add your own fields to do segmentation, which would then give you the ability to do things from say, your welcome screen perspective, right? So in here, I could then begin to see things based on segmentation, right? So all the detail that you put inside of the system. So that's a long-winded answer for yes.
Okay, and then on one of the screens, I saw last contact. When you went into the business and it said last contact, let's say the date of 8/29/2016.
And that was the account time. Oh no, that was the, which one was that? Was the account snapshot, I thought. What did I do with that?
For the details tab, well, it's on both of them, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my question is pretty broad. Is that last contact with the account, last contact with a specific contact from the account?
So and I think the one that you were actually talking about, and where did I put that?
Or do you
from the account view, you have the ability to define what that means. And usually the last contact would be last time we had an activity or a phone call from that. So if somebody touched that particular account, right, you would have, that would be counted as a contact. So if I had a note that I added to the system, that's technically a contact. If I did a phone call, if I had an activity, right, and even to the point if somebody bought something, right, so maybe they didn't even, a sales rep never talked to them, but they went online and bought something, or automated refresh of a process and a sale actually happened, that would also count as a contact to that particular account. But you can define what you want those rules to be.
Okay, so we define the parameters.
Sure.
Okay, so when I'm emailing out of OnContact, I can get that to drop into my CRM information, correct?
You can, right? There's ways to make that type of information flow in here. And that, for us, that is detailed information. If I went and looked at my contacts, right, as an example, and I drilled into Jonathan, and I can look at this from a number of different ways, right? But I have
from the overall company view, though, correct?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I was just but inside there you can actually look at all the web access and web activities and everything that was done based on your marketing campaign. So that's an integration component that we have to allow you to see, hey, I sent them out a marketing email, they didn't respond. Or they did respond, and here's what they responded with, right? So we have a number of feature functionality in the marketing side of the house that touches on those things from a marketing campaign management.
What about a customer-specific profile tab?
Can you give me more detail?
Sure.
What are you looking for?
Let's say, like we want to put in there just miscellaneous information, like they currently have this type of press and they would possibly need these type of visits. Let's say even a contact's birthday or when we first started working with them, just miscellaneous information for that we can use to profile the account or the contacts underneath that account.
Yep, so you can do that. Every entity in the system has a detail tab, and that's generally where we do our throw everything in there.
Okay.
Right, so you can add fields that you want to have in here, right? So if you wanted to add birth dates and spouses' names and that kind of detail, you most certainly can. And you could even create your own tab if you wanted to, right? So you can add your own detail. But usually we find that our customers tend to use the detail tab and just expand that out for the information that they want to retain inside of the system. So it's pretty quick and easy to create new fields to house the information that you guys are looking for.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, I had so many questions, but you did a great job. Thank you.
Now, when you talk about entities in the system, can they be related so that if our customer has a customer to whom we normally drop ship, we can put both of them into the system as entities and then show that relationship?
Can you link them?
Well, so the question is, right? Can I take an account and relate it to another one? And the answer is you can. There's multiple ways to make that happen, right? We have ways to visualize it. Again, you can use pretty much any field that you want. So I can see that Abbott Worldwide is related to Abbott, which is related to Abby, right? So all of these guys are related in the big long chain of relationship, right? And I can click through, and right now I'm just showing contact information. But if I wanted to, I could change this visualization to show shipping address or whatever it is that I need to show. But their relationship is defined in the system by simply adding associations to them. Right, so I have a field that allows me to define associations. So the answer is yes, you can do that. And a lot of times, what we have found is people have some pretty crazy rules on how and what is related to each other. We simply have a field that says Abbott Limited is associated, or the parent company or a division of Abbott Worldwide is Abbott Limited, and you just define it that way. So, but there's lots of different ways you can do it.
Okay.
All right. So here it is right here, by the way, right? So parent account. So Abbott Worldwide happens to be the top of the chain, right? I think they were, right? If I went and looked at them. So Abbott Worldwide is the top of the chain. If I clicked on Abbott Ltd. and I wanted to jump directly to them, I most certainly could. And then we'll see in their parent record right here that Abbott Worldwide is their parent. Right? And that's how we've related them here for our little demonstration world.
Okay. One last question. When you are on your phone, and you are in CRM, are you first signing on to Visual to get to CRM? Or are you signing directly in CRM? I'm sorry, I didn't.
That's a great question. Yep. So understanding the mobile world, right? So in the mobile world, we are reaching out and talking to a server, right? So the phone, right, your phone application is not speaking directly to Visual per se. Right, it's communicating and getting information out of Visual through the CRM server, right? So when I basically log into my mobile client or my web client, I'm logging into the same set of servers, which in this particular instance, what I'm doing today is I have an Amazon server, right? A server that's sitting up in the Amazon cloud space, right? And for me, I'll actually go into the geeky side of things, just maybe to confuse people, but I have integrations that are defined. Right? And one of those integrations happens to be back office. Right? So my back office extensions, I can turn on and off integrations to ERPs as the case may be. Right? So simply turning them on and turning them off makes them available to me. So from the server on the CRM side of the house, that's the portion that's actually making the connection to Visual, not your actual phone. Does that make sense?
So in terms of Visual licenses, the CRM server is using one license?
My understanding is yes. But that is something we should probably verify, right, to make sure that you guys are not burned with extra license costs. But I don't think you are.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could let us know, that would be great.
Sure.
That's all I had. Sorry.
No worries.
No, those are all great questions. And I'm positive that there's no additional visual licenses required, but we will confirm officially.
Yeah.
Any more questions for us? Anyone else have some? All right. Well, if you do have any, you can always respond back to the invite and also my follow-up that I'm going to send out. I appreciate BizTech's involvement in helping us invite all of you all to this session, and we'll both be reaching out. I'll be providing the follow-up, and we'll work through BizTech to identify those of you who would like to, work tighter on this and potentially get a quotation from us or whatever it is that you'd like to know. So we appreciate your time so much, and thank you, Ed, for helping us out today. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Hope everybody has a good day. Thank you.